Shut up and sit down.
Greetings, fellow Earth travelers. Obelix here, and today I want to talk to you about the Vostok-Europe radio room duel time. How y'all doing today? So here is the presentation in a very typical Vostok box, and this sucker is packed full. You get the nice red trim around the edge, and it is wanting to open up on me. This is textured, and it is a very hard box. Very typical of Vostok-Europe. They either come in hard-sided plastic cases or these boxes right here. So let's jump into it. Now this is a very limited edition. You do get a logo inside the top there. A very limited edition model. Instruction kit. Warranty card from Détente Watch Group. Now all Vostok-Europes are imported to the United States through the Détente Watch Group. I have since learned. Bubble wrap. And bam! The Vostok-Europe radio room duel time in purple. Love it. This was actually my introduction to Vostok watches. This is what got me into Vostok watches and wanting more of them and wanting to do more with them. Was this watch right here. I bought this one. It was my first Vostok. Fell in love with them and buying up all the ones I can possibly find to buy. Yeah, actually, as you're watching this video, I'm probably out getting another one because I'm supposed to go get one for me tomorrow, for you today. Review coming soon. After I get some wear time on it, of course. Never review a watch I don't wear for a while. So this is it, and you can see there are some additional bands inside the box here. I did pick this up used off the Watch Gang Exchange. I say that a lot. But a great source for inexpensive watches, guys. It really, really is. And like I said, I did pick this one up used from another member who was just not wanting it anymore. And I believe it probably came on these white leather bands with the purple stitching. Because there is some wear on them right here. So I'm assuming these were on here at some point in time. And that he probably switched them over to these white ones. I don't know if it actually came with both. And the reason that's a little tough to tell is because this watch isn't sold anymore. As I said, it was a very limited run. They made, if I remember right, 50 of them? 500 of them. And this is number 48. So 48 of 500. 500 for the world is not very many. Now all Vostoks are limited, at least all the ones I've ever come across. I think they only do at most about 3,000 runs of any face. So there will be other radio rooms, but the purple, there's only 500 of the purple. There was a really pretty light blue they did, and the same watch, just light blue. That is probably going to be equally limited. So they got the really limiteds, which like this one, which are 500. Then you can have some that have 1,000. You can have some that have 3,000, but I don't think they go much beyond 3,000. Could be wrong there, but I don't think they go much further than that. Now this is actually an older radio room. Like I said, there is a newer model with newer movement. This is the old school, the OG model that has the Russian movement. So it is running the Russian 2426 automatic movement in this particular watch. And we'll move these bands out of the way. You can see that from the back here. Now this is rocking a silicone strap. Really nice. Vostok straps are great. Their leather is great and their silicone's great. I mean, look how thick that is. It's very soft to the touch. Hasn't changed color at all, even with wearing it. A lot of lesser silicons will, especially in white, would start to yellow on you. This one has not, and I have definitely worn this on some serious hot days and put some sweat on it. But there's that Russian 24-26 movement. Very nice. Rotate it around for you a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. Very, very nice. It does have a date complication down here at the 6 o'clock. It is a little bit challenging to set that date. Most watches, you have a crown. When you pull it out, you have two stops. There's the nearer stop where you set the date, and the further stop where you set the time. This guy only has one pull out, and you set the time, and that's it. In order to set the date, you have to roll past midnight, then roll back forward to 9 o'clock, and you'll actually feel it click. If you're holding it and paying attention, you'll feel a light little click. Then you can roll it back forward to midnight. It'll change the date. Then roll it back to 9 o'clock, and then go back forward to midnight. And it's wash, rinse, and repeat over and over and over, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until you get to the date that you want. So a bit of a hassle to set the date. I don't own an automatic watch winder because I think they're kind of silly, but this watch may make me a believer, because keeping that date set is a pain in the butt. If you pick this up on the 1st and it's the 15th, then you got to go from 9 to 12 to 9 to 12 to 9 to 12 to 9 to 12 14 times. Yeah, no thank you. No thank you. Put it in a watch winder and never have to do that, and just let it stay wound all the time. That may be worth it. It might be worth it. Unfortunately, watch winders are expensive, but that may be worth the cost just for this particular watch. Not something I would normally do. So what else? So we obviously have the display back. It's got full face luminescence. The entire white surface of the face is luminescence. And I'll put a lume shot in here for you. Really comes out nice looking. Very, very cool. No luminescence on the hands or second hand, but you don't need it when the entire back of the watch is lighting up on you. Does have a rotating bezel. Now this is not a typical countdown bezel like you would find on a traditional dive watch. It is in fact a GMT rotator. So you notice they're 24. So it starts at 1 and counts all the way up to 24. You will notice a fourth hand in this watch. So you got an hours, a minutes, a seconds, and this long skinny one right here, which is your GMT hand. It is not independently settable. It is settable based on your hour and minutes. So as you move your time, that GMT hand moves as well, as you can see. Hopefully you'll see there. So as I move this backwards, you can see that the GMT hand is moving along with it. And of course the way you set it is you offset whatever your GMT is, here. If you're minus 10 or minus, 5, or I guess it wouldn't be minus 10, it'd be minus, 2 or 5 or plus 2 or whatever. And then you can read the time in that time zone off this GMT hand. Pretty cool. It does have a screw down crown, which helps to afford it a 200 meter water depth rating. So you can take this diving or in the water, especially with the silicone strap. That is very helpful. I would not recommend doing it if you were sporting the leather strap. Again, Vostok straps are excellent quality, both the silicone and the leather here. Genuine leather. It is white faced with purple stitching. Really good quality. And they do, they put these plastic tips at the end on these leather ones, so that they sit in here just like this white one. This silicone goes all the way up between the lugs and touches the watch. The leather ones will do the same. They look really, really cool. Of course this one is, I said, it is original. You're generally not going to find non-Vostok bands that will work on a Vostok watch. You're pretty much going to have to go with the Vostok band on a Vostok watch. But they are readily available. So you go to the website again. The U.S. distributor for Vostok watches is the Detente Watch Group. They sell them out of a subsidiary company, I guess is the right word. Maybe, I don't know. It's the same ownership, but a company called R2A that sells the Vostoks. And if you go to their site, they have a bunch of bands you can get. You just say, I've got a Vostok. They sell other brands as well, but you go say, I have a Vostok, I have a radio room, and they'll list all the bands that are available for you to pick up. You can change your bands out pretty darn easily. This one is a spring bar. You will find some Vostoks that have the screw downs. If you just look over here on the lug, you'll see a screw. But this is a spring bar, and it's a pretty beefy spring bar, I gotta tell you. Actually, if you look here on the leather, you can see that hole. It's pretty chunky monkey, so it's a hefty bar. It's not going anywhere. Definitely can dive with it. The movement is, it's got a little hitch in it. You can definitely see it taking off the seconds. It's not a super smooth movement. But again, this is old Russian hardware. The newer radio rooms use newer Swiss movement. I believe it's Swiss. But this is the old original, the OG Russian, which is kind of the one a lot of the collectors want. I don't know that it's necessarily a better movement. It's just more traditional because Vostok is originally a Russian company. This one's special because it has the Cyrillic text in it as well. So it's got the Russian language. If you notice, the name, if this will focus, says Vostok instead of Vostok. So it is Vostok with a V. I will show you here, if I can get to all the garbo. See, look at the top here. It is a Vostok-Europe with a V. That is the correct spelling. The correct English spelling. But this is the Cyrillic Russian spelling with a B. But it is pronounced Vostok. And then you can see, everything's written in Cyrillic. Down here, the watch back is all written in Cyrillic. Very cool. I actually like that a lot. Not all Vostoks do that. Only certain ones, generally special editions. But this is the Cyrillic text version. And again, it is a limited edition. It's number 48 of 500, so pretty darn cool. What do I use this for? Well, darn near everything. I will wear this to the office because I work in a fairly casual office. Definitely a good summertime wear with that silicone on it. Wear it to the pool, wear it to the beach, just hanging out on the weekends. Great for camping. It is a heavier watch, as most Vostoks are. It is significantly larger than most watches. Most Vostoks are. A lot of steel in this thing. Ton of steel, so it is gonna be a chunky monkey. But that's just what you get when you get a Vostok. You get a big chunky watch. Now, they do something. If you look at the band, see how that band just falls straight down? It doesn't go out like this. Like most times you see a watch, their bands kind of are straight out like this, but you see how the Vostoks want to go straight down? That is typical of Vostoks. Their lugs are curved, and the band continues the curve so that it points down. Reason being is their cases are so much larger than most watches. They fit across the width of your wrist. And by curving these bands like that, they just fit better around the wrist. So let's actually take a wrist look while we're here. Today, I am wearing the Omicron Harrier with a beautiful mother of pearl face. Very, very nice. I love that offset second hand. Really pretty watch. Stupidest clasp I've ever run across, but the watch itself is gorgeous. So let's pop the Omicron off. If I can deal with this nonsensical dumb clasp on it. And pop the Vostok on. We'll put it on your way first so you can check it out. You can see how it completely fills the wrist up, end to end, and how these draped down bands really help to fit it to your wrist a lot better than it would if they were pointing out, this way as if they were doing this like normal bands do, it would actually be very goofy looking on your wrist because it's such a big watch. So let's put it on my way. Branded buckle, by the way. It's got the VE logo. The crown is not branded on this particular model. And there you go. Very cool looking piece. Boy, that white stands out. Really jumps out. It will pick up things like dog hair and stuff, as all silicone do. You may see some in video, but it comes off pretty easy. Running under a little water, it comes clean super fast. There's a little bit of play in the bezel, as I've found with most Vostoks. Will have a little bit of play in the bezel, but not bad by any means. It is, of course, a unidirectional, single direction turn. But I gotta tell you, I love the way that looks, and that purple is gorgeous. Purple is one of my favorite colors, and you just never see a good looking purple watch. It's very rare. But this is the white is the dominant color, and the purple just gives you a nice accent. Very, very cool. Now, little tidbit about the radio room and why it's called the radio room. These markings here, 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 and here at 15 minutes after the hour, and you'll see for, I think it's a minute and a half, 3 minutes or 2.5 minutes or something like that. I forget, and I can't see that upside down very well. But at 15 minutes after the hour, for a couple of minutes, each one of them was blocked off, and you'll see that there's solid ones on the side and dotted ones at the top. Really cool story. I don't know if it's true or not, but this is what I've heard. It is. If it's true, it is super cool story. I like it a lot. Those came from the Titanic tragedy. At that time, they were attempting to make radio calls out to get help, but they couldn't because there was so much traffic on the radio at the time. Well, maritime organizations of some flavor got together, and again, I don't know if this is the real deal. I'm just relaying a story I've heard because it's a cool story. Hopefully it's true, because if it is, that's awesome. So the maritime organizations got together and said, hey, we could avert tragedy. We need to make sure we have some free time on the radios that people can call in an emergency if they need to. That's what this is. So the solid indicators at the 9 and 3 are for audio traffic, whereas the dashed indicators at the 12 and the 6 are for Morse code. And these are blackout periods. So during that time, you cannot do a transmission unless it's an emergency. Now, I'm sure that's long since no longer the case, but back in the day, when there's only one channel and whatnot, that was the case. And on vessels, they would have a clock in the radio room that had these markings, so the radio operator would know if he could send out his message or not if he was in those emergency times. Pretty darn cool, and really neat that Vostok brought that back to share with us in more modern times. And I've seen a lot of old vintage Vostok branded clocks, like wall clocks, that have these markings, and these are going back into the early 1900s. Pretty darn cool. Would love to get one of those, but obviously they're going to be pricey. But a modern replica would be pretty neat too, gotta say. But that's why it's got the markings. Now this guy has K1 crystal, as most Vostoks do. K1 sits between mineral glass and sapphire. Mineral glass is more bendable, but more scratchable. Sapphire is less bendable, but less scratchable. K1 is the sweet spot in the middle. So it is about half is bendable. It's in the middle between unbendable, but it's also in the middle on scratchable. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, if you will. And most Vostoks use the K1 crystal, and it is super thick on this guy. And it is domed. You can see, hopefully in that picture there, it is domed, which gives you this neat magnification effect. I'll try to get it to where you can see it. As you roll it around, yeah, there it's showing up. See how it magnifies as it rolls around and kind of distorts. I like that. I think that's really cool looking on a watch. When they have when they have a nice domed crystal and it's a good quality crystal, that looks really, really cool. So let's get this chunky monkey on the scale. It is absolutely a chunky monkey. I wouldn't be surprised to see like a high 4, if not a 5. High 4, there you go, 4.7. Well, that's a beast of a watch. Alright, let's get the calipers on this guy. It is a big beast, so we can expect big sizes. Across the short way, it is a 46. So 46 on the short. It's bigger on the short than most watches are on the long. With the crown, you're looking at, I can get that lined up, 51. Lug to lug, a whopping 55. And it's no skinny mini either. So thickness, you're looking at a 18. So yeah, it is a big beast. I'm not going to worry about the band size because, again, not easily replaceable with a non-Vostok band. I guess you could in this particular model, but why would you? Just get a Vostok band. Make it look right. Band is logoed right here. Would I buy this guy again? Absolutely. Love this watch. If I could find it, if I could find it at a price I could afford, I would absolutely buy this guy again if he got damaged. I would love to find the blue. There's a blue variant, same watch, with blue instead of purple. It's a really light, pretty color blue. If I could find that at a reasonable price, I'd love to have that as well. Make a great piece to the collection, have them side by side. Now, cost. When you could get it new, these guys MSRP'd for $500, $499. Again, they're rare, very limited production, so you're generally not going to find them anymore. I did find a few used ones for $350. I bought this guy for $195, and been very happy with it. It's led me to a Vostok obsession. I have bought many more Vostoks since this, based on what I learned with this guy. I've bought so many more of them. Absolutely love them. The loom is fantastic. Just not enough good things I can say about it, guys. Just not enough good things I can say about it. But there you go. The Vostok-Europe radio room dual time with the original Russian movement. That's all the time I got for today, guys. Sure do appreciate you coming to hang out with me, as always. And until next time, y'all get out there and make some noise. See ya.